Welcome to the official catch-up. Today I've got Mark McConnell, captain of Civil Service Strollers on. How are you doing, Sparky?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Ryan, how are you getting through this, mate?
Hey, I've just been working really. I'm actually one of the, fortunate ones who can still go to work during this time. So I've worked 21 days in a row straight, like including weekends. Today's my first sort of day off in 3 weeks.
So you're keeping busy then, that's good.
Aye, pretty much. I've not really had much chance to do much else, so at least it gets me out of the house, I suppose.
Yeah, and I appreciate you coming on and taking the time. We've obviously been trying to talk to, guys from throughout the league and different clubs and whatnot. You're the first guy we spoke to from Civil. How would you say your seasons went?
It's been kind of up and down. Like it has been, I suppose, quite a good season in terms of players that we've had available. I mean, similar to last season, we've had a lot of injuries. I mean, if you look at the squad we had at the start of the season, we had quite a big squad, and then like now, well, from the last game we played against Bonnyrigg and the game before that against Gala, we're really depleted. Been drafting boys in for the 20s just so that we have a full bench and things like that. But on the whole, I suppose it's been a not bad season, but we know we could have done, like we could do better.
Yeah, and you speak about injuries. Obviously, Churchy, he was missing, practically the whole season. Sean Turnbull had his injuries. Chris McKee, likes of yourself, even were out for a wee bit.
Yeah, I mean, Churchy got his operation, so he was always going to be out for pretty much the whole season. I think he started running again now, so I think he was hoping to come back for a couple of games before the end of the season so he can look forward to next season. And then Sean was obviously just, I think he got injured being out on his motorbike or on his dirt bike or something, and he's just never fully recovered for it. I think he tried to rush back and his knee's just not been the same. And obviously Chris was expecting to be back as well, but I think he's just having problems with his ankles. I think he went over it again in training when he was getting back to fitness. It's just it's been unfortunate. And for myself, I've just had a couple of knocks here or there where I've missed a couple of games, and then I was ill in February, and I think I missed a couple of games. So you sort of pick up momentum again, and then you're out for one game. You're trying to get your full speed back.
Yeah. Has it been tough on the guys that have missed out? Are you still in contact with some of the guys that have been injured? I know Churchy was doing doing the Twitter for a wee bit. I take it he's still coming in and doing his part at the club when he can, or was it?
So Churchy's always wanting to be in about the boys. I think he misses not being in the changing room. So he comes down to all the games he can, and obviously speaking the group chat and that, and likes of Sean and Chris, they've been around at the training ground as well, like just for a catch up with the boys, maybe even just doing some gym work. So they're still floating about and still trying to be in amongst the boys.
Good. And are you keeping in contact through this? Are you still sort of active in your group chats, making sure everyone's all right and whatnot?
There's been a few messages. It's been quite quiet. I think everyone's just sort of doing their own thing and trying to keep themselves as busy as possible. It has been a bit quiet, but I think all the boys are well. So I think we're all just sort of trying to cope the best we can, like staying at home and just keep ourselves busy.
And is Gary keeping you busy? Is he sending you any instructions on what he wants you to do in terms of?
He's been on the phone quite a lot. Texts me now and then, maybe once a week, just a quick update, just making sure. I'm guessing he's texting all the boys, but just obviously making sure all the boys are still safe and well. And like I've had a couple of messages just making sure we've not caught the virus and that. But I think we're all good. And obviously he's wanting to know if we're going out runs and keeping ourselves fit as best we can. Keep ticking over, sort of thing.
Yeah, and how good is the job that Gary's doing there? I mean, Civil, they don't have one of the bigger budgets in the league, but they always seem to be, top 6, top 8. You were really unlucky last season, just missing out on top 4. Against Spartans, obviously. But how good a job is Gary doing at Civil?
Yeah, he's done a brilliant job. I mean, if you look at where Civil were before he went in, I think they were close to being relegated. And obviously, Gary went in. I think he's just installed a bit more professionalism about the club. I mean, even when they were down the bottom before he went in, the players they had, they should have been doing better. I think it was just more a case of maybe some boys not working as hard as they could and working to the best ability. And that's something that Gary gets the best out of players. If you buy into his ideas, then he'll make you a better player. And as long as you work hard for him, then that's all he asks for. And I think that's what he's done. He brings in boys that'll fit the group well and that'll buy into his ideas and are willing to work hard and just give their all really. And I think last year we were disappointed because I think we should have got top four. We should have been in the Edinburgh Cup, but I think it was the last 3 or 4 games. I think we picked up 1 point, and if we won one of those games, we would have had, based on the results that went our way, we would have finished in the top 4. So, he's done a great job. To be fair,
I was at a few Civil games last season, and I thought you were going to do it, but as you say, it was kind of a wee bit sort of disappointing towards the end of the season. I take it, I think you mentioned it there, but were you a wee bit disappointed yourself in the finish?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember we were playing Gala at home and we went 2-1 up, and I think it was Rory Payton scored a free kick with something like 5 minutes to go and we drew 2-2, but we missed the amount of chances we missed that game. We should have had it sewn up before that. And then after that, I think we drew with Kelty, or we got beat 1-0. I think Kelty scored a late goal again, beat us 1-0, or drew. I can't really remember. And then we were poor against Spartans, and the last game of the season, Cumbernauld, we really let ourselves down. So looking at those 4 games, we were very disappointed, especially with the Gala game and the chances we missed. Because if we'd won that, the way it worked out, we would actually finish above Spartans and got the 4th place.
Yeah. I remember it quite well because I was, don't tell Spartans, but I was kind of rooting for you guys. But I really was. I really liked what I saw. I think mostly at Kelty most weeks, obviously, because I do a bit of media work for them. But I did catch a fair few of your games. I remember that game against East Stirlingshire at Falkirk Stadium. That was probably one of my most favourite Lowland League games, just for the drama and the football on display. It was brilliant.
It was some game to be involved in. That was actually, I'd been out for about a month, I think, I'd done my ankle against East Kilbride, and that was my first game back, and I didn't think I was going to start because Big Sean had been playing, he'd been doing well, but and he put me back in, and I had to go off with cramp because I was struggling with the pace of the game, and then I think it was Guthrie went on, scored the winner, and I found a new lease of life, and everyone just ran down the touchline. We were buzzing with that result.
Yeah, honest to God, I'm not just saying that because I'm speaking to you, mate. I have really vivid memories of that. I've been to so many Lowland League games, but that one always sort of sticks in my mind of how good it was. And I remember you've probably heard of Mad Bill, the Shire fan, always shouting and whatnot.
Oh, they were at the home game because the home game finished 4-3 as well, but to East Stirling earlier on in the season. I think I could hear him that game.
I just remember being I don't think I was even close to him, but I remember him losing his voice when he's scored the winner.
It was brilliant, to be fair. It was a good result that day. It was a good night.
Well, Sparky, like a lot of people obviously might know you from the likes of your time at Edinburgh City, and then you were at Bonnyrigg Rose for a wee bit. How does Civil compare to these clubs? Are you still trying to get to, maybe higher up, or compare yourself to these sort of clubs that have, Edinburgh City, obviously, Gary was manager of and won promotion. Is that something that's realistic to you guys?
I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, Civil's very similar to Edinburgh City from my time there in terms of budgets, in terms of obviously Gary being there as well, and try to play the same sort of style that we played when I was at Edinburgh City. I think we actually had when I was at City, when I first went to the first team, we had a lower budget than what Civil do now. So it is very similar to City, but Bonnyrig's completely different. Obviously, when I was at Bonnyrigg, they were junior. There's obviously a bit more money about the junior clubs as well. There was always a sort of bigger fan base, I think, in junior football, just because it's a different style and a different league altogether.
Yeah.
Obviously now they've moved over to Lowland League. Everyone's obviously got the same sort of ambition to progress up through the ranks and make it into the SPFL. So Bonnyrigg was different, but in terms of Civil, it's very similar to Edinburgh City. And I mean, I think every club should be looking to be the best they can be and try and look for promotion to SPFL, because why else would you be in and competing in the league if you didn't have those ambitions?
Yeah, absolutely. Is it tougher for Lothian teams, obviously, to sort of get the fans in, because there's obviously so many sort of teams within that area? You're just down the road from the likes of Spartans and Edinburgh City. Is it tough on a team like Civils to maybe build and get more people into the Christy Glass Park?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Obviously, as you say, like Spartans and Edinburgh City, both just down the road, and there's always going to be a game on at Ainsley Park every Saturday. So whenever we're at home, there's always either Spartans are at home as well or Edinburgh City are at home. So people might be more inclined to go down there. But I think it's just a case of trying to advertise the club as best they can on social media platforms and try and get as many people from the local area down to the game. And if they enjoy it, hopefully they come back. So it is difficult. It's going to be difficult for quite a few clubs that play locally if there's other teams playing at the same time. But I mean, you just got to try and advertise it the best you can and encourage people to get down and support us.
Yeah, and the fans that you do have there, I think I'm not really seen. Well, I've seen a few games of you this season, but I remember your pre-season friendly against Crossgates, and your fans that do come to see you, they always seem to be quite passionate and whatnot, which is always great to see.
Yeah, I think most of them maybe people's mums and dads, to be fair, so that'll be why there's a bit more passion. But no, like the people that we do have a few guys that come follow us every week, and yeah, they're always in and around the clubhouse. So it's good to have those people following you, and obviously giving us their support every week.
Yeah. And you had a fair few sort of Hibs youngsters on loan, which is, I think it's been a case for many years that sort of happened. Guys like Kevin Wall last season, and then Ryan Shanley, who I thought was fantastic for you. He obviously sort of went on loan at Forfar after his loan was finished for use. But how good are these sort of young players and the Hibs academies?
Yeah, they're brilliant. Obviously, you can get some boys that come in on loan. They might not be interested in playing for a team in the loan league or coming down to Strollers and making that big walk up to the pitch. It could put them off. But the boys that have came in have been brilliant. They've shown a great attitude, and obviously they're good players. They wouldn't be at Hibs if they weren't good players. The Shanley one, I didn't realise that his loan was up and then he was at Forfar, because I remember I think it was the Friday night, it was announced that he was signing for Forfar, and he trained with us the night before, and I was a bit like, what's going on? He's might be playing them on. But he's got loads of ability, and if with the right attitude, he could do well. Scholes's came in, he's been outstanding.
Yeah.
You look at him and he just looks like a wee boy, but he doesn't play like one. His attitude's different class, and he's versatile and does what the manager wants, and he listens. He's been really good as well. Yeah,
and I think early on, top 11, I think he was one guy that I sort of highlighted from Civil Service Strollers. I actually think it's hard with you guys, because I would say you're a proper team, less so individuals, and I always find it hard to sort of pick out one player. It's been an issue for the likes of myself, because you guys are such a good unit, basically.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's why we've maybe done better than what others expect. And to other teams looking in, they might think we've maybe overachieved and done better, but within ourselves, we think we can do even better. So I think that's the one thing that why we've done so well, is because we've got a good group of boys and we do well as a team.
Yeah. And the talk before all this, coronavirus and whatnot, was West of Scotland League. Is it something you're looking forward to maybe possibly play these teams if there's a cup competition or something put together?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've played against a couple of them before in the past. I've played against Auchinleck when I time at Edinburgh City. They're a big physical, strong team. I also played them with Bonnyrigg in a friendly, and again, it's tough teams to play against. They're strong, physical, and they're in your face. And It'll be interesting to see what happens with that, because I know there's a good few teams through the West that have got decent sides. Beef Juniors as well. I think they're a pretty good side through the West as well.
Yeah. I've not heard too much in terms of sort of interleague cup competition, but it's something I think hopefully they'll look into, because I would like to see, you know, the old days of the juniors come back in terms of, you know, going West coming East and East coming West sort of thing.
Yeah, I've not really heard too much about it. Maybe I've just been oblivious to it, but yeah, it would be really interesting, and I guess it would just make all the clubs around us even better, and it'll be a even more competitive league if they do have sort of two leagues, or I don't know what they would do with it if it's just a case of two leagues and then an interline cup, as you say. I don't know what will happen with that, but it'll be interesting to see what the plans are going forward.
Yeah. And on to the hard question, mate. Obviously, I believe, if I remember right, you're a Hearts fan, aren't you?
That's correct.
Yep. What do you think should happen? I don't. Yeah, I've been hearing different things. Obviously, that, you know, Celtic will get the title, Hearts will get relegated. That's been more recently, but I'm not 100% sure if that's going to be the case. What are your personal thoughts on it, Sparky?
Just void the league so we can stay up, and I'm also a Chelsea fan for the Premier League, and for some reason I just don't like Liverpool, so it'd be good not to see them win the league. But no, I don't know. Like, it's obviously not fair if you void the league for the teams. In terms of, I don't know, it's a difficult one. Obviously, teams have done well, like Celtic and Liverpool, etc. Like, I don't know. It's just like you can't really rob them of a title that they're going to win, but if you can play the rest of the games, that's the best way forward, I think. But yeah, I really don't know, because I've listened to obviously a couple of the podcasts you've done with asking the same question to other boys, and I've heard boys talking about a restructure of the leagues. I think that would be good for Scottish football, but it's the powers that be. It's up to them. I think whatever they decide, it's going to be based on the top league, I think, and then it's a domino effect from that afterwards, because you can't make one decision for one league if it's the top league and then a different decision for other leagues. It's all going to be a domino effect, I think. So I don't know what's best. It'd be good to see Hearts stay in the league from a personal point of view. It would also be good to see the leagues being finished, because, like, for our league, Kelty and Monaghan, I was really interested to see how that was going to pan out. I think everyone was. So I think if they can find a way of extending the league, and even if that means we continue the rest of the season in the middle of summer, however long it takes, and it just delays the following season, then I think that would be the best decision to go down. Or if it's a restructure, but we can still finish the league, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a hard one.
Either way, basically, whatever they decide, there's going to be teams that are going to be annoyed, and fans and clubs.
As you say, though, like, you're not going to please everyone. So it is a difficult one, but the best way is to try and finish the league if we can. But whether that's possible, or if they can look at extending it and then, I don't know, delaying next season, I think that's probably the best way to go around. That way, you keep everyone happy, and it's the fairest way. But
yeah,
we'll see what happens, I guess, and I'm sure there'll be more talk about it in the coming weeks, and surely a decision will be made shortly, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you, Sparky, for coming on. It's obviously great to get a wee bit of coverage for the Strollers. I really appreciate you speaking to me, and all the best, mate. Stay safe, and good luck with everything.
Perfect. Thanks very much. You too. Cheers.